Have you ever noticed there's absolutely nothing scarier than our own imagination? You have all these conjured up feelings and ideas about I can't do something or I won't do something. I almost get paralyzed by fear because I'm so certain that my worst case scenario might actually prove to be true. You know, movie producers, book writers, they're playing on this fear all the time when your heart races. There are times when that's not actually useful to you. There are times when there's something you really want to get done, something you're really passionate about, you're dreaming about. But you refuse to do it because you're absolutely convinced in your own head that you can't do something, or that you won't do something, or that your worst case scenario might come true. So what if I'm as bad as I think I am? Then what? Have you ever just thought about that whole idea of debriefing that? I mean, one of the things I learned in law enforcement was to learn to debrief events. Most of us stop before we ever get to, and then what? We get to the, well, I get up and I public speak, and I'll have a heart attack and die. Really? Well, trust me when I say this. Most of us would tell you we've done the research, and the only time we've ever seen anybody die was an elderly woman sitting in a congressional speech that went on far too long, and she probably died from boredom. The speaker themselves stayed upright. So the reality is, I need to start asking myself, is that actually true? Is that actually true? So let's not use the death. That's kind of a fatalistic card. But what if I came to the conclusion that I don't speak as well as I could, or that maybe I can't lose the last 10 pounds? Maybe my body is meant to be at a particular weight. And can I learn to embrace that? What if I have a tick or a shake in a hand? Can I embrace that shake? And if I could embrace that shake, can I incorporate it into my brand? Can it become part of who I am? Can it be synonymous with me? Can I leverage it in some kind of positive or productive way, rather than using it as my excuse to hold myself back? So if I could leave you with a couple of tips. Whenever you've got fear, fear's just an acronym, future events appearing real. Most of us have heard that acronym. But I really want you to think about that. You're dreaming it. It's a hypnotizing quality. We become hypnotized by our own limiting belief. We believe it at such a capacity that we struggle to even think about how we could see it differently. So if we're going to use a technique from police work, I'm going to say play it all the way through. What if the thing that you think is about to be exposed, I don't know enough, comes true? Then what? Then what means I got to learn more, I got to study more, I got to get a different mentor, I've got to find something else. Recently I was doing a renovation and we hired a plumber. And the plumber is working on our bathtub. And instead of admitting he doesn't know how to do something, for fear of what? Fear that we'll think less of him? Fear that we'll assume he's not worth paying? But if you don't know, do you have the courage to be brave enough to ask what you think might be a stupid question? And I encourage everybody to ask stupid questions. The question that is sitting right at the back of your mind, you think it the entire meeting, the entire time, and you really want to ask it, but you're afraid if you ask it, you'll be judged as unintelligent, less than. What if everyone else is thinking the same question? What if everyone else is afraid to speak up? You want to get good at this? Get good at being vulnerable. Get good at playing the scenario all the way through. What if you quit your job and start your own business? What's the potential? What's the opportunity? Not just what's the risk. And if I want something bad enough in my life, have I ever spent any time looking back to see the things that I wanted more than anything else that I wanted in the world? Did they happen? I once had a girlfriend who told me, she's a bit of a psychic, she told me, you know what, you're a magician. Nothing happens unless you decide it's going to happen. So if fear is the thing that stands between you and getting done the dream, I choose the dream. Be the magician and make it happen. Play it all the way through. There's nothing worse than your own imagination. Reality pales in